The Bhubaneswar Press Club hosted a significant program today titled Opportunities and Challenges in Regional Media, bringing together some of the country's most respected journalists and media professionals to discuss the future of print media and journalism. The event was organized jointly by the Editors Guild of India and the Press Club of Odisha, reflecting a dedicated effort to address the unique challenges regional journalists face. Prominent figures attended the conclave, including Tathagat Satpathy, the editor of Dharitri, Orissapost, and president of the Press Club; N. Ram, former editor-in-chief of The Hindu; Tapan Mishra, editor of Samaj; Tanaya Patnaik, editor of Sambad; and Justice Ananga Patnaik, former Supreme Court judge. The gathering also featured senior advocate Sanjay Hegde, senior journalist and writer Paranjoy Guha Thakurta, along with many other notable dignitaries from the media and legal sectors. In organizing this event, the Editors Guild of India aimed to expand its presence beyond New Delhi, striving to represent editors and journalists from all the regions of India. This initiative is part of EGI's mission to reinforce that the Guild is not limited to the national capital but stands for journalists nationwide, advocating for media freedom and the rights of press professionals everywhere. Through the conclave, the EGI sought to directly engage with regional media leaders to better understand the challenges and opportunities unique to regional journalism. This includes issues like the reach and influence of print media in regional languages, the economic pressures on local newsrooms, and the evolving demands of readers in diverse communities. Ultimately, the EGI's efforts aim to create a platform that will help address the concerns of regional journalists, work towards securing their rights, and protect the integrity of journalism across India.
I think they're very useful because people with a lot of experience, you have a mix of very senior journalists, editors, and young journalists as well as students of journalism. So I think this is exactly what should happen, and for the Editors Guild to step out and have a conclave or any kind of program with a well-run press club, because the press clubs, I know some which are very well run in the south, some which are just rackets and so on. So I think it's very good and it's been put together. Perhaps we could have had a day and a half and so on. Then I think there would have been more, because people want to say so much and it's hard to compress all that in this time, but still you get ideas and there can be a follow-up. For example, on what I said about WhatsApp, for some people they may have switched off. I mean on AI, sorry. But there was a serious interest. And there was a follow-up. Somebody came and said, can we have some kind of collaboration with the Hindu in an institutional way? I said, sure, on this. Because these are early days for adoption of generative AI in India, artificial intelligence, that is applied to the media. So we can avoid some of the mistakes that have been made elsewhere. That sort of thing. So this is a very useful exercise and actually it's excellent. The only thing is perhaps we could have had it on a second day also. But then people are busy and it'll be hard to organize, I guess. But for a start, one day is good. I would go for a 2-day conclave or 1.5 days, yeah. I think the two challenges, one is economic pressure and corners are being cut. The media industry is not what it was earlier because consumer behavior has changed and rapidly revolutionary technology has weakened journalism in a sense, whatever people claim, because the old model doesn't apply. The second is direct pressure transmitted through their owners or supervisors from political parties and business houses. To face this is going to be the challenge, but I see many people standing up. I think there are plenty of spaces in India despite these attempts to do independent journalism.
हाँ बहुत जर्नलिस्ट आसुँच से शुणुंट इम्पैक्ट पड़ो आइडिया हाँ they will develop the courage to write independently. ନିଶ୍ଚୟ impact ତାଙ୍କ ଡ୍ୟୁଟି କ'ଣ ସେ ବୁଝିବେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯାଏଁ ଗୋଟେ ସଂସ୍ଥାଟା ନା ଧରିତ୍ରୀ ଧର ଯଦି ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେଣ୍ଟ ରହିବନି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟରୁ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ ରହିଯାଇଛି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଉପରେ କି ଆଉ କେଉଁ ବିଜନେସ୍ ଉପରେ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ ହେଇଯିବ ତାହେଲେ ଅସୁବିଧା ହେବ ଯେତେ ଇଣ୍ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେଣ୍ଟ କରିପାରିବେ ଫାଇନାନ୍ସିଆଲି ସେତେ ଭଲ.
Journalists play a very important role about uh, informing the public the way the legal process is playing out. Now, very often the legal process may not play out the way that people anticipate. You used the word victim, you used the word accused. Sometimes accused go free. If they are innocent, they are entitled to. But if it is being deliberately sabotaged, then it becomes the journalist's duty to tell the public so that corrective measures can be taken. As long as the journalist reports proceedings faithfully within the four corners of the law, I don't think there's anything to be scared of. I do think it will have an impact, particularly because it's very rare that such conclaves happen. As the Editors Guild of India, Mr. Anantnath said, it is not necessarily only a Delhi editor's body. The idea is to set journalistic standards at an individual level, helped by people who have become editors. So, if the trade itself can set its standards, and those standards can be communicated all over the country in person, in conclaves like this, I think it's a very good thing.
A number of challenges in the future for journalists in Odisha. But if I have to point out two, I would say first is to strengthen the credibility of journalists. That's going to be a big challenge for the entire industry because the journalists, the reporters, they're the backbone of the news gathering industry. Second would be adapting to technology. As we speak, there are so many developments happening with technology, with generative AI. So I think the smartest thing would be not to escape it, but to adapt it, to embrace it, and go ahead with it. I think that's going to be the future. And the third thing is it's very difficult to predict the future even tomorrow. So 10, 20 years is a long time because with the way, with the pace things are changing, but the relevance, the need for good media was there, is there, will always be there. It depends upon how well we can fit ourselves into that requirement. See, 10 years ago, they told us that newspapers are going to die. They didn't. COVID came, we thought newspapers are done with. That didn't happen. So I don't think newspapers are going to be obliterated. But yes, there will be alternate forms of media, as in with the way technology is developing. Digital newspapers, digital news outlets. But I don't think newspapers are going to completely go away anywhere. They still have a loyal readership, and there still will be a large number of people who would rely on newspapers every day.
Journalism in India and independent journalism in India is going through a very, very difficult time. To some extent, these difficulties reflect what is happening across the world. But in India, you have today a very, very large section of the media that has become completely subservient to those who are in positions of power. This is one major, within quotes, achievement of Mr. Narendra Modi's government. And this section of the media, which Ravish Kumar affectionately calls the Godi media, is more interested in criticizing the opposition rather than those who are in power. Complete inversion of roles. Now that the Bharatiya Janata Party and Mr. Modi has become weaker, I hope more sections of the media and more journalists will realize why independent journalism is important for democracy. the ability to hold truth to power, the ability to ask questions to those who are in power, and difficult questions, not goody goody questions, like the question that cinema star Akshay Kumar asked Mr. Modi based on what his driver is supposed to have asked him कि मोदी जी आप आम कैसे खाते हैं, काट के खाते हैं, चूस के खाते हैं. A journalist's job is to ask questions that are relevant, questions that are difficult. And I think, I don't know if Mr. Modi will give a press conference, a spontaneous media conference where people will be free to ask him whatever question they want to. But I think it's sad. It's sad that the Prime Minister of a country which describes itself as the world's greatest or world's largest democracy should be the only, one and only Prime Minister of India who over the last 10 years had not granted or who has not held a single spontaneous, unscripted conference for journalists where anybody can ask him anything.
Stay tuned to Orissapost Live for more such updates.